Hey guys, I am Dr. Smellgood. Thank you for joining me for this video. It is 2021 and one of my first New Year's resolutions is I am going to wear more OG fragrances. I've chose 10, 11, something like that here. Disclaimer up top, these are 10 that I am going to wear more this year. These may not necessarily be the best 10 OG fragrances out there, but these are the ones that I've had the 10 best experiences with. I have experience with these fragrances, and I'll give you a little bit of story to each one and why I chose these 10. So let's get started. At number 10, we have Chrome, Azzaro Chrome, and I actually had an OG bottle that my wife bought me. She likes this one. A quick left turn here. I guess left will be that way. Left turn here. A couple of you guys in the fragrance communities have asked if fragrances can go bad. This is a 1999, 2000, somewhere through there bottle. So look at the color of the juice the way it's supposed to be versus what's left of this one. See the big difference? Yes, fragrances can go bad. This is not supposed to be green, and I did spray it on something and sniff it, and it is god awful. But this and this, it's what it's supposed to look like, and I can tell you the changes they made in this in the last 20 years, this stuff was a lot more potent. It's fresh, had a little metallic to it. This one's not as potent, but this one was a lot stronger. So reformulations over the last 20 years or so, this one's still good, but it's not the beast that it used to be. Azzaro Chrome, my wife loved it. She got it for me, and bad juice in it now. Next up, we have one of the old ones. It's very cheap as far as being inexpensive. Still a good fragrance. You're looking at Aspen. And I don't know why we don't wear these OG fragrances as much. Maybe we associate them with generic now. But anyway, definitely get a little bit of green Irish tweed vibe to it. Nothing fancy. It is actually, I like the bottle. Classic bottle. Decent sprayer. A little bit of green Irish tweed vibe to it, and the name Aspen serves it pretty well. It is almost like you're standing in a pine tree. It's not a bad fragrance at all. A lot of older ladies still enjoy it. Check it out. I think you can get it around $10 for that size bottle. Not bad at all. Next on up, oh my gosh, this is one that I wore the crap out of, and it's CK1. I got the huge bottle to replace, and I still have a small, I don't think I brought it out for this video. This is about the fourth time I wanted to film this video, but I do have a small, little bit left from my 1997 bottle that I keep refrigerated, and it's the same thing. The difference in this versus the 1997 formulation is insane. A lot of you guys now, especially you younger guys this has always been there, don't understand what a milestone this was on its release. There wasn't a lot of unisex fragrances out there, and this one smelled great. Performance was great back then versus now. Not so much now. I've heard people say this is generic scent now. It wasn't in 1994. I'm telling you guys, this was groundbreaking. It lasted a lot longer. The performance was better. The only issue with this, if a girl smelled it on you, there's a high chance that she would say, man, that smells really good. I have that same thing at home, because it was widely worn by men and women. So not necessarily going to get you the most play if that's what you were looking for, especially back in the day. Like I said, they would say that you smell good, you know, but I have the same fragrance at home, so nothing's going to be blown away. CK1, very good fragrance. I wore the crap out of it back in the mid-90s. Next up, when I stopped wearing this one, I started wearing this one, Tommy. This was such a good scent, and also this bottle, I don't have any of the OG left. I go through so many bottles of these. My girlfriend at the time absolutely loved this, so I was basically just bathing in it for 3 years. I went through so many bottles. Very clean, very distinct smell. Tommy back in those days was the brand, and it smelled good, but like so many of these on the list, the performance over the years have changed. This one still I wear all the time. I wear both of these all the time, just around the house. They just make me feel good. This next one up, man, you want to talk about a beast in the day. There was no fragrance out there that was more of a beast than this in the 80s and the 90s. This was worn so heavy in the 80s, all the way through the 80s, and then the early part of the 90s. This stuff was everywhere, and it was so much different than what it is now. Drakkar Noir. They've toned this down so much, I can't even tell you. This was my first bottle of cologne, not this one in particular, but this brand. And it was a hand-me-down from my cousin. Man, I was middle school wearing this stuff around, and you would have thought I was the boss of bosses. I'm not sure that all my instructors, appreciated a kid running around smelling like them, because this stuff was everywhere. You don't understand. Everywhere, and it was beast mode back in the day. Whatever reason, it's still a good fragrance. It's still loud. Nowhere near, not even the same neighborhood of what it used to be. But if you're looking for an OG nostalgia that's still there, it's not what it once was, like most of them on this list, but it's still a very good fragrance. Check it out. It's not that expensive. Can't tell you how beast mode that was. It was insane. Next one up, this is another one of those OG fragrances. If you wore this one out somewhere, this is Curve. New bottle for me. I did wear this a little bit, not as much as I wore the other ones back in the day. If you wore this one out and a girl smelled it, it was, hey man, you smell great, let's dance, let's go, let's dance. It was different enough at the beginning from other fragrances out there that it would get you attention, especially if you sprayed it heavy and you go out to a club or wherever you hung out at. Still good to this day. Not what it used to be. Still a good fragrance. I still wear it. You can see I put a decent little wearing on it from when I bought it, but not the beast it once was. And a lot of people today, I still see in fragrance groups, this is a generic scent, this is a generic scent. Yes, it is today. This is 2021. It is a generic scent today. That's the only reason it's a generic scent today was because this was so good back in the day. Everybody copied it. You guys don't seem to understand that. In the day when this was first released, this was, top notch. And it is where it's at today, a generic scent, I'll admit it. But a lot of that is because everybody copied it because it had such huge success. Curve, OG bottle, nice. Next one up, you guys all know this one. Now this is the mild deodorant. I don't have the EDT, I gave it away. This is Cool Water. Another inspiration of Green Irish Tweed, which disclaimer, I don't have Green Irish Tweed on this list, guys, simply because I couldn't afford it back when I was hitting these guys hard. I just couldn't afford it. I had to save up. You guys don't understand. I had to save up to buy these bottles back in the day. I was working minimum wage going through school. I didn't have a lot of money just to waste on fragrances. Cool Water. You guys, I won't waste your time. You guys all know what this smells like. Man's Man. This was another one. If you were out, a girl at the time would smell it. It was, oh my gosh, you smell great. I think I'm in love. That's this fragrance, especially back in the 90s. Still good to this day. Not the quality of Green Irish Tweed, but it's definitely there. This one. I got this one a little bit too late. If I would have found this one when it first came out, if I could have afforded this one when it first came out, I would have wore the crap out of this. I still wear it to this day, and I think it is one of the most slept-on fragrances in Fragcom. Does not get the respect it deserves. It is a good scent, and to this day, I still think it smells unique. You guys can disagree if you want, but Versace Blue Jeans. If I would have found this when it first came out, or if I could have afforded this when it first came out, I would have rocked this stuff hard. This would have been my signature scent, period. It's that good. It is blue, but it's also spicy. It's different enough than anything that was on the market at the time. It would have made you stand out, and it's still different than anything that's on the market today. I can't think of a single fragrance that smells like this one, that's this quality, that I get good performance out of it, good projection. It checks all the boxes, especially back in the 90s. This would have been my signature scent if I come across it sooner, and I still wear the crap out of this today. And again, it does not get the love it deserves. If you guys have not smelled this one, it is inexpensive. It's around the $20 mark now. Go out and find it. Versace makes good fragrances. This one, back in the day, I guess, I'm going by what everybody says, was more of a beast than it is today, which I believe that seems to be the trend. But check it out. It's still a very good fragrance. I still get good everything on it, and it's a good price. Check it out. All right, the top two. And I've got a bonus in here that I found later. But best-selling men's cologne of all time, Acqua di Gio. The reason I didn't wear this as much, of course I had Tommy and CK1 in the 90s, was number one, it was expensive, and it's still expensive, Acqua di Gio, but it is one of the best fragrances you can buy still. Man, it's just so good. Exceptional fragrance. It's number one selling for a reason. Probably one of the best Italian zesty style fragrances you can get. One of the best fragrances you can get, period. I'm not going to tell you guys much that you don't know about this one. I would have worn it a lot more if I could have afforded it back in the day. I still wear it a lot. You can see a pretty good wearing on that. And then, of course, one of my favorite fragrances is Perry Ellis 360 Red. I don't know if you can see it. It might be off screen. But I get similar vibes to this with a little more pepper. And I wear the crap out of that, guys. You don't understand. Very good for the hospitals. Very good for office. Perfect summer scent. Acqua di Gio. It was everywhere back in the day, and I would have worn it if I could have afforded it at the time. Alright, my number one might surprise a few of you. This is, I'll just get right to it. Jupe. Such a unique scent, even to this day. It's still a powerhouse. This is my number one because my wife absolutely loves it. And even back in the day, this was, I've given you a few examples. If you would have worn this back in the day, the girls, that smells great, it smells like me, I think I'm in love. Where'd my panties go? That is this type of fragrance. It is so unique. It smells very manly. Man, just lavender in it. Still a good one to this day, but I have an OG bottle. That's what's left of it that my wife bought me. This is a 2001 bottle, I believe, and this is a newer bottle. And this stuff is still, I sprayed it and wore it the other day. I sprayed this on one side and this on the other. No comparison. This one is it was blasting. You don't understand how strong this was back in the day, guys, versus this. This stuff was almost nuclear. The performance, the projection. I mean, if you were going out somewhere, that's what you wanted to wear because you would get noticed. To this day, it's still good. It's not the same. It's not the beast that it was. This one drove the girls crazy, and it still drives my wife nuts. I'll wear this one, and if I really want, to make a mark, I'll put the OG on. It's crazy how different. Just out of the atomizer, it's 3 times. It's got to be at least 3 times stronger. And then just for kicks, I threw this one in there. I didn't put it in the top 10. Somebody, Howie, actually mentioned it after I had my top 10 ready, so I grabbed it. Old Spice. Gets dubbed as the old man fragrance all the time, and it is. But the reason being, this one was released in '39, I believe. Pretty much everybody's grandpa or great-grandpa wore this. It was everywhere. It is such a good fragrance. I wore it the other day. I still think if you put this in a different bottle, it would be one of the best sellers, but people frown on it because it's Old Spice and it smells like an old man. It's Old Spice, so and so wore that. I still bet there's a bunch of people that hate on this fragrance that's never even smelled it. Gosh, that's good. But good news is, you're to the generation, my generation, it reminds me of my papa, my dad, didn't wear it as much. You're getting to the generation, especially you younger guys out there, this is not being worn as much as it was. If you want to smell different, especially around, I would say, the 20-year-old neighborhood or so, give this one a shot. It might surprise you. And 20-year-old girls probably are not going to recognize this as much as 40 on up. Might surprise you. Give this one a shot. You might be surprised at the results. So that's my New Year's resolution. I am Dr. Smellgood. I am Going to try to wear more OG fragrances. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember, if you have a fever for fragrance, the only prescription is more smell good. Peace, guys. God bless.